It's Sunday evening, 3:30 Central Time. I'll be live with the main produced broadcast, 4 to 6 p.m. tonight. Probably one of the most important broadcasts we've ever done, coming up in 30 minutes on our AM and FM affiliates, TV affiliates, but also on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and of course, Infowars.com/show and PrisonPlanet.tv, our own streams in case those others get censored. I had really been scared in the last week about a strike on Syria because a lot of top analysts said if we killed a bunch of Russians, they were saying they might respond back. That could then trigger a wider war in World War III. Fox News, CNN, they even had top analysts from Princeton University, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, NATO were saying the same thing. And then I thought, hey, America stood up, like when Obama wanted to take out Assad 5 years ago and said, we're not Al-Qaeda and ISIS's Air Force. So I thought that Trump had backed off when he said on Wednesday, our missiles are coming, we're going to blow you up. Oh, they're so smart. Oh, you're going to love them. By Thursday, General Mattis came out and said, we don't have evidence Assad did this. And it's going to take a few weeks to find out. And then Friday, I went on air and said, well, they could still strike because, as Zero Hedge pointed out, there's all this political heat on Trump. Presidents tend to do stuff like this as a distraction. It makes approval ratings go up. A lot of elements in Israel want it. Saudi Arabia wants it. The military-industrial complex wants it. The rebels have been caught staging stuff over and over again, so it makes Trump look weak if he doesn't do something. But I went home thinking World War III could be averted. Well, about 8:30, I went to Infowars.com just to check updates. Been checking in a lot more than I usually do, once I go home because I'm worried about war. And boom, Trump authorizes airstrikes, cruise missiles fired. So I come into work and I cover this event. And people say, is that an act when you started cussing? We had a side feed already going that I hadn't even said go live on. I wasn't mad at the crew. They misunderstood me. Wasn't even out of the studio. And I was already ranting and raving. So I knew they were live at a point, and I just kind of went ahead and let go because I knew it was only on Periscope and said, F Trump. And I don't mean F Trump for killing TPP or restoring sovereignty or taking care of our veterans or being pro-Second Amendment or bringing back thousands of companies back to the U.S. I know the globalists hate Trump. I like Trump. But he's so good to watch his stock go down and to watch him get roped into the globalist really pissed me off. So I wasn't acting. I was generally pissed off, but I let the dog off the leash. I've explained this to people. I let the dog off the leash. I really was feeling those things, but it was controlled. Because there's a big debate about, well, was Jones really that pissed or was it staged? Aren't you pissed off? If you know the history of Syria and Obama and Hillary founding the attack and Benghazi for the weapons and then creating ISIS and our military saying no, and one of our greatest moments 5 years ago when Rand Paul and Ted Cruz came out against being Al-Qaeda's Air Force and exposed that the West and Obama and Hillary started the Libya war, started the overthrow of Egypt, started the overthrow of Syria. So that's the backdrop. But here's the big news if you just tuned in, and the headline on these videos. Here it is, Daily Mail, Associated Press. Trump vows to sanction more airstrikes against Syria if Assad dares use chemical weapons again, as Nikki Haley tells the UN Security Council members have failed miserably to tackle his evil regime. So Trump said in the campaign he didn't want to topple Assad, that the West started the fight, and that Assad had been a stabilizing factor compared to the jihadis there, and that Obama and Hillary were wrong for what they did. That's why I supported Trump. One of the big things. He was against the Iraq war in 2003. He's been right. In fact, I've got his tweets I'm going to read on air from just a few years ago about Syria. And so I support the old Donald Trump. I'm loyal to the old Donald Trump that I believe in, that the globalists fear. But the fact that geopolitically they want to get Iran, I'm not a fan of Iran, that's fine. They can have a peaceful transition or a revolution to put in freedom there, I'm all for it. Most of the Persians, want to be free. But Syria, just because they're Ba'athist or just because they've been allied with Iran, they didn't start this fight. They're not attacking Israel or the U.S. They weren't involved in 9/11 like Saudi Arabia. So why at the behest of Saudi Arabia are we talking about even doing that? So just like I told everybody on Friday that said, Alex, it's a limited strike, like April 2017, 1 year later. And I said, no, it's not. It's Friday the 13th. Think that's a mistake? It's a whole message. If you know about Friday the 13th and all the rest of it, the Knights Templars and the Crusades, there's some heavy iconography there, some real tea leaves. But sure enough, I said, watch, we're going to hear there needs to be more airstrikes. We're going to hear there needs to be more sanctions against Russia, more troops on the Russian border, more escalation, a new Cold War. What does that signify? That Trump got intel that Assad really did this when he had no motive, and a lot of experts are gone public saying it's crazy, he wouldn't do it, and there's no evidence, and the rebels have been caught 3 times staging it? Or there was never any Russian collusion. But Mueller, with a giant dragnet over all the Trump companies going back decades, and his lawyer, and payments to Stormy Daniels, and I'm sure others, when they did that, that's when you started seeing the rollover. If Trump came out and gave a press conference and said, I've been blackmailed, this is what's happening, we're moving to indict Mueller and all these other people for this criminal conspiracy, if he was just honest about the stuff, it wouldn't be an issue. They've committed the huge crimes with Russia and China, the Clintons, Mueller, all of them. They're the ones that are fighting for their lives because they're the cornered rats that had sold the country out. But clearly, a lot of you out there, most listeners support me, and they support the old Trump who didn't want this Syria war, and they understand. But a minority of our listeners, who I know are good people, are pissed at me saying I'm a sunshine patriot or I'm a turncoat. No, Trump's 180'd his Syria policy, and the rebels have been caught 3 times staging chemical attacks. I'm going to play clips from the news 3 years ago when they admitted the Syrian rebels got caught staging it, and Ron Paul last year talking about it, and Cy Hirsch, Pulitzer Prize winner, talking about it. And all of it, the fact that Assad was winning, and the Russians announced they're pulling out, and Trump announces he's going to pull out, and then all of a sudden, a week later, this happens. I mean, come on, folks. 2 + 2 does equal 4. You've got the former head of British Special Forces, highly respected, just retired a year ago. He said, it's in the news, it's on Infowars.com. It's in the major British newspapers. He said, Assad had no reason to do this when he was winning, and the rebels have done it before. I'm going to give Theresa May the benefit of the doubt because we haven't seen the intelligence yet, but we better see it. And I just won the lottery, and I'm walking out of the lottery place, and they've just certified it's me, and I've got the lottery ticket in my hand, and a truck pulls up and shoots me and grabs my wallet. You go, oh, they probably grabbed the wallet to get the ticket. You don't just randomly say, oh, they just randomly got the ticket. We're pulling out, Trump, we're pulling out, great, we defeated ISIS. The globalists don't want that. They created that proxy army. And so this happens. It's ridiculous. Ron Paul's saying it. 2 top British ambassadors are saying it. The former head of British Special Forces is saying it. Colonel Schaefer is coming on in 3 days. I don't know his view on this yet, the London group. He's talking about how they got caught staging it before. Benghazi was about weapons to these very groups to take over the Middle East. Hillary was behind it all. And so the Russians stood down, even though they got bombed. This attack's much bigger than last year, a year later. And Trump has signaled to the rebels, ISIS, al-Nusra, 95% of them are all al-Qaeda. They're all Wahhabis. That's their base group. Different denominations of Wahhabism. They have all signaled that you stage chemical attacks, we'll come bomb Assad and remove him. And now Haley's beating the drums. We need war. We need to take out Assad. We need to get the UN behind regime change. That's today and yesterday. We had Zach on, who's given us his credentials, high-level intelligence, involved in the highest levels of the system. And he said, I've been here at Southcom right now. He's talking folks at CENTCOM, and they are just beating the war to drums. They are beating the war drums. They are pushing. They are going. This is a pretext to try to lure the Russians in to set the pretext for more attacks. And then they got all these fake polls against Trump, always oversampling Democrats. Suddenly he's 10 points up in the polls. That's so they can signal to the president, look, sir, they want war. Let's regime change Syria and turn it over to the globalists and break the country into 3 parts and destabilize it just like Libya. So Trump that criticized Libya and Iraq and all of it, he is about to do the same thing that he so vehemently spoke out against and betray us. I'm still happy about the economy and the sovereignty, and I'm glad Hillary didn't win, and I risked my life doing it. I've had the Democrats demonize me, come after my family, come after me. Everybody's seen it. The Democratic Party, Hillary's lawyers suing me constantly. It's fake lawsuits. We get them thrown out, but it still hurts. I mean, I'm really committed, so that's why I got so hurt by Trump. Did I go overboard? I don't think so Friday night. Because World War III is a serious thing, and people need to get out of their comfort zones and get upset. So we're live in 20 minutes at Infowars.com/show. Hundreds of radio affiliates, over 100 TV affiliates, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. And I've been really sad to see Google and Facebook and Twitter even more shadow ban our accounts, not let our subscribers see the videos. But you've been hand sharing them, so they've been getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views. But they should be getting tens of millions of views. And I'm going to show this. I forgot this one point. In fact, Travis, I'm going to finish up just a minute. Will you run in and tell them this? Print secret documents. Google hired company to delist InfoWars. And the documents are in there. We'll print those too. Why was that so important 6 months ago when Mike Cernovich got those? We published them. And then Google one day later said those are real documents. But we made a mistake. Rogue people in Google hired that company for several $1 million. And what did they delist? What did they pay? They said, we want InfoWars delisted, but we're not going to mess with our algorithm. We're going to have a private company go out and downvote and report as fake news, InfoWars. And they said, the reason we're doing this is he reported fake news that the Syrian attack in April of this year, 2017 then, was staged. And he had other fake news reporter, Ron Paul, on. It actually says this. And RT. Well, they didn't mention I played Sky Television and Fox News. I mean, the UN found it was the rebels. And they found 2 years before that. I mean, I have all the articles. In fact, the Russians put an RT article on March 18th. Drudge linked to it yesterday. Saying the rebels in this city are preparing to stage a chemical attack. It needs to be stopped. They're going to blame it on us. Only Drudge had the courage to even post that. Before Friday strikes, it was alleged Assad did it, no proof, and Mattis said they had no proof. Once Trump hit him, the news all said he did it with no proof, and Alex Jones and Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson are evil anti-Americans. Well, you know what? I'm proud of Laura Ingraham, and I'm proud of Tucker Carlson, because believe me, they're getting major heat at News Corp. I know from sources in News Corp. And they just can't help but tell the truth, just like I can. Laura Ingraham's the real deal. So is Tucker Carlson. And I like Sean Hannity, but he's going to support Trump to the end no matter what. I support the Donald Trump that sent out hundreds of tweets against this when Obama was doing it. And said we're helping Al-Qaeda and ISIS and the rebels are behind the chemicals. Trump is smarter than a damn fox. He's smarter than I am. He's smarter than you are, probably. I mean, he is damn smart. And people go, well, then trust him. Trust the plan, QAnon says. This isn't QAnon's plan. This isn't the 1776 plan. This isn't our plan to reboot the country that we all agree on and that we got Trump in for. This is the neocon globalist plan that Wesley Clark talked about to restart this war and to knock out all these Islamic countries and put radicals in charge. All right, I got to go live in 15 minutes. That's another video, guys. Wesley Clark, that I played yesterday in the emergency broadcast, where he admits this whole plan. They're just back on script. And they got the president back on script. So we got Trump, super smart, who is pro-America, who does want to transfer sovereignty back. Doesn't mean he's perfect, but he wants power back to America. At least he's Americana. He's not at the country like globalist. Does that mean he's going to make mistakes? Does that mean he's wrong about some things? Does that mean we have a right to hold his feet to the fire? One last thing. The Wesley Clark clip I played yesterday, there's like 5 of them, but the one at a University on Democracy Now! Where he was led into the secret room with the 7 countries they were going to take out, including Syria. Google takes out major contract to deal with InfoWars from its search index. Go read this, and then read the actual document where they say fake news Ron Paul joined him. He was reading the UN report. I mean, aiding the jihadis to take that over and to overthrow that country and to let them then continue the scourge of ISIS. The truth is the Russians beat ISIS. Trump said he was going to get in and go help do it, but now I was told by our military sources, including Delta Force sources, 6 months ago that, well, Trump must be being deceived because we're on the border with Iraq and Syria and we are training al-Nusra, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, it's all the same thing, to go in, and it's not going to stop, and they still plan on toppling Assad. And then remember, Trump said, well, that's not true, I'm not going to, but fired McMaster. So I'm done ranting. Go read the documents for yourself. They do not want us to remind you and for you to remind people about what's really happening. Some people go, Jones, Trump didn't violate law. Yeah, it's the Constitution. If there's a clear and present danger to the U.S., then the president can strike. Even Republican congressmen are saying Trump violated that. And international law, folks. And now they're trying to get the UN for more strikes and Assad regime change. So I told you, if Trump wanted to bomb one airbase where he claimed they hadn't turned all of their chemicals, and I looked at Jane's Weapons Quarterly, and the boxes look like Russian and Saudi Arabian stuff they bought years ago, chemical weapons. I said, okay, maybe they did blow up chemical weapons Assad didn't turn over, and it's some face-saving deal and a message to North Korea. So I gave Trump a pass on that. Now it's much bigger, and my gut's right. 2 days later, now they want to take out Assad, more airstrikes, sanctions, all this crap, sanctions on Russia, just a huge escalation. And I know you Machiavellians go, Jones, it's about a message to North Korea ahead of next month's talks. Yeah, I'm the one that told you North Korea already agreed months ago before the talks. Now that's confirmed. And I get it's a message to Iran, and I get the geopolitics, but we can't side with Al-Qaeda and ISIS to overthrow a country that's diverse compared to other Muslim nations and let them do this. It's immoral, and it's wrong, and you can side with the new Trump. I'm going to side with the old Trump. His tweets and more are coming up. Infowars.com/show. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, we're live. Please spread those live links that will be live on these same channels. I know that we can take action and stop a continued escalation, but now people are telling me all week, Trump's not going to hit him. Not going to hit him. And I went, I don't know. The stars are aligned for this, and they rated his lawyer, and we know he's getting compromised or something's going on. Now, hey, Trump's proven people wrong before, but not me. And maybe he'll change his mind again. But stay frosty, my friends. God bless you. We'll see you live in 10 minutes.
Support good oral health with our one-of-a-kind Super Blue fluoride-free products. InfoWars Life brings you a revolutionary toothpaste blend with iodine and nano silver designed to deliver a powerful clean. Enjoy a minty fresh flavor made with peppermint oil or try our bubblegum flavor. Pair this groundbreaking toothpaste with the Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and supercharge your oral health. Our amazing mouthwash features natural oils and ancient ingredients used since Aboriginal and biblical times. Instead of containing fluoride, our Super Blue line is loaded with the good halogen iodine and an array of other beneficial compounds that have been hand-selected for their oral health benefits. Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and toothpaste are the first and only to contain all of these natural ingredients: xylitol, nano silver, and iodine. Notice the difference with our Super Blue fluoride-free products. Refresh your breath and invigorate your oral health routine at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com.